In the first part of this video, we've been able to replicate this floor plan, but have we entirely replicated what is here? No. What we have is just a skeletal view of this floor plan. It's time for us to add flesh. It's time for us to add ingredients. And the first thing we are going to be doing here is to import all these templates that we use. Of course, you can choose to create this template for yourself, but for the sake of this course, I have decided to import all my preset template that I use for this building for you to use too. So I'm going to link it down in the description below. If you need it, if you're interested in using the template, you can head down there and download it. These are the templates that I have used for this drawing. You can see we have the windows and the doors and everything in between. So the first thing we are going to do is to place all the windows first. The windows to the toilet window rather. So they're all 600 by 2 to 5. We understand that the measurement of our wall is 2 to 5, so we are going to import the windows. We already have them preset here. All we have to do is to copy them and paste. But if you really want to create this, there's a way you can do it. So I'm going to teach you how to create this window probably in the next tutorial, but for the sake of this tutorial we are going to just copy and paste all the templates that we have. Like I said earlier, if you're interested in using my template, you can head down to the description below and download the file there. I'm going to link it to a page for you to download. So we're going to copy the toilet windows first. So highlight the first one and you right click. It's either you right click or you come here to click on the copy icon here. You click on it, then take it from this point. If you take from this point, you also have to pin it to this point here. And before you copy an item, you have to make sure that this is showing you an end point. That means you are actually at the corner of this object. So being at the corner of this object, you can just left click on it and drag it. If your auto mode is still on at this moment, you may have to turn it off in order for you to see where your object is moving towards. So as you zoom out, you can drag it from that point to this point, place it on top, then check for another place where you have a space. Excuse me. So you check for another place where you have an opening for a toilet window. We have another one here, and we have another one here too. And you have to also be careful the point you place them on top. Don't mistakenly drop them here or mistakenly drop them here. Make sure it is at the same point. It's pointing at the very corner of this side or this object. So you drop it there. Once it shows you that you have an end point, you drop it also. So I think those are the toilet windows we have for this building. At this moment, we are going to continue with the bedroom windows. So we're also going to highlight this part. Right click and copy the selection, or you can just click on the icon here and copy it. Take it from this corner down to this corner. The first one is horizontal actually, and while this one is vertical, we don't have to do this. So now we can also drop this because it's horizontal as well. Then we can drop it because it's horizontal as well. And the next one are the vertical windows. We are also going to do that. So if you really don't want to copy this and you want to use this, you can just drop this, cancel it or enter. Then you highlight the whole entire window, right click and rotate. You rotate the window. At this moment, you have to make sure your auto mode is on. If maybe you don't want to turn your auto mode on, you can just hold down the shift button and it will temporarily make your line straight, or everything you are doing straight. It's going to be straight. You take it sideways, it takes it straight, you take this straight, and all of that. And once you remove your mouse from the shift key it's going to make sure it dangles from left and right depending on how you move the cursor. So you're going to hold on the shift down, hold it like this and drop it. Once it is straight to your own desire, you drop it here. Now you can just choose to copy this, or you move it, anyone, you can copy and delete this, the copy later. So you can just take this point, drop it here, take this one, drop it here, take this and drop it, this and drop, and this and drop. So where else do we have a vertical window? We don't have any vertical window, so we just have to enter, then highlight this one and erase. The next one we are going to do is the dining window. The dining window is measured 1.8 if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 1.8. So we're going to look for a window measured at 1.8, which is this one. Then we click on it, highlight, copy the selection, then move it exactly at that point and drop it here. Okay, now what else? I think we're done with the windows. The next thing we're going to do is to move and place the doors accordingly. You know, we have a 750 door, which is 0.750 meters, and we have 900 millimeter doors, which is 0.900 meters. So what we're going to do now is to copy, and also we have the entrance door, which happens to be 1.2 meters, 1,200 millimeters. So we have to copy the entrance door first. Let's start from there. You can see this is the entrance door here. You can just click and right click, copy. Make sure you're at this point, at this side of it. It's either you take it from this side or this side, whichever one will work for you. So we're going to take from this side, and whenever it says midpoint, this time around is not going to be at this side. You're going to take it from the midpoint. You're going to have to make sure that you take it from the midpoint. Whenever it says midpoint, you click there and drag it to the midpoint of that same area. You understand? As you can see, it is just perfectly fitted. You can click on escape to see what you're doing. So it is perfectly fitted here because the door template as well is measured 1,200 millimeter. So we're going to place this toilet one as well, so we can just copy it from here without wasting much of our time, and we'll drop it in the center. Mind you, this time around it's center, not a corner like we did the window. So we have to do for this side too. This one happens to be 750. We already have a template down, so we copy it and we take it from the midpoint, drop it there. The opening is coming this way. This is the direction with which the door is being opened. You can see, let's take for instance, if the door is closed like this, you're going to open it this way. This one is just trying to show you the radius at which the door is opening. So okay, now we have another 0.750 door here, which is, I guess, located here. Okay, normally when you have a door like this, I think there is a mistake here. You don't open kitchen windows towards the entrance, because the reason for you don't open kitchen doors inside the kitchen. The reason for having this is for you to be able to escape from the kitchen in terms of emergencies. Maybe, God forbid anyway, there is a gas outburst in the kitchen. You can be able to exit through here and stay outside before you can actually put everything in place to cushion the gas outbreak. So normally the door is supposed to be open this way. So we are going to correct it in this drawing. What we have to do now is to drag this one out. Make sure it's at the point where it's not situated between the both side of where the door is supposed to be placed down. You can mirror it. You can just click on it, click on MI, or you click on the icon here, mirror. Then you take this point, mirror it to one point here. Make sure your auto mode is turned on. Mirror it to one point. Now delete this one. Now this time around, the door is going to be open towards this direction. You understand? It's not going to be like this. So what we have to do again is to mirror it the other way around. So you click on it, drag it to the left side. Okay, you click on it, click on mirror, click on the object, click on mirror, then you come to this point, drag it to the right side, then you drop it. If you drop, it's going to ask you whether you want to, let's go back again. So you click on the object, you click on mirror, then you click on this point, take it out. You can click on any point, but for clarity, for us to make sure that the object is correctly mirrored, we have to click at a point whereby it doesn't intersect while mirroring. So we have to take it sideways, and it will ask you whether you want to erase the source of the object. Of course, we want to erase the source of the object, so we have to click on yes, and it will take that first one out. Now we just have to move this. This time around we're moving, not copying. Move this from this point to this point. Now you can see, instead of opening towards the kitchen, we're now opening outside. This one actually makes it easy for you to escape, because when there's a gas outbreak in the kitchen, in the process of trying to open the door this way, it might actually cause a problem for you, or maybe create a difficulty while trying to do that. So it's actually easier architecturally for you to open it this way and escape through the exit. Now the next thing we are going to do is to place the door to the toilets of each bedroom. So we already have a template. What we need to do is just to copy this and place it here. Place it here. Copy the next one, and of course take the center point, place it here. And the next one we are going to do is to place the door to the bedroom. The door to the bedroom, copy the first one, yes, and place it here. We copy the second one, I think, yes, it's going to be here. So copy this, place it here. Mind you, the kitchen also has a door. There is a door to the kitchen. You can either choose to leave this open, or you can close your kitchen. But for me, I would love to close the kitchen. So let's take this. There is 900. Yes. So now we are basically done with placing the doors and windows of the building. Now we're beginning to add little flesh. Our drawing is beginning to look like the one we have here, and we are working gradually towards creating the exact replica of what we have here. So the next thing we are going to do is to place all the templates, the furnitures actually, starting from the bed, the dining tables, the wash hand basins, and the toilet, the sitting room, and every other thing. So what we have to do now is to just copy the whole thing here. Since we know it's already designed for it, we can just copy the whole thing, or we take it one by one, copy from here. Then you can turn off your auto mode to avoid moving on a straight line. Drop the first one here, then the second one. You can either choose to rotate or copy and rotate this one. You can copy this, rotate, make sure you hold on your shift to temporarily make it straight. Then you can drag it or move it towards this side, and move this one towards this side. Okay, now we're done with that. So the next thing you're going to do is for you to move this old-fashioned television. I don't even know what made me include this thing in the first place. I should have designed something better for it. So you can include this old-fashioned television here. Ordinarily this wall is meant for a plasma, but we're going to use this for the time being. So probably in our subsequent tutorial we're going to find something better to replace the template of a television. So we're going to copy this, table as well, and we drop it here. And the next one we are going to take is the center table. Also copy it, hold on shift to temporarily make it straight or straight. Is that what correct? I don't know. Okay, to temporarily make it straight or not straight, then you drop it here. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is to bring in this dining table. You can copy selection from there and place it at the center, or you can either choose to move it sideways, move it this way, so that whoever is using the kitchen, wherever the chef is, can have easy access to the kitchen without having to disturb people who are sitting down here. So you can move it sideways or leave it like that. So the next thing we're going to do is to bring in all the beds. Yes, our beautiful beds. We're going to bring them in. 1, 2, place them here. You can just shift it to one corner and bring the other one to this corner. So as you can see from the drawing, it's replicated that way, so we're going to leave it this way. And now it's time for us to bring in the toilet. So bringing in the toilet now has to be center. You have to make sure it's at the center of your window, because the idea of creating a toilet close to a window is for maybe for the ventilation to pass out easily, and normally that is where the pipings and plumbing work is situated. So it's very easy for you to create a toilet here, and it's actually cost effective? Yeah, it's cost effective, because by the time you move the toilet to this side, you may have to actually create a piping through this wall that will get to this point. So it actually reduces your cost and prevent you from having issues from one, maybe that affects one toilet to the other, something like that. So you can just copy this one. Okay, we have our template here that we're copying. So you can just click on the first toilet, copy the toilet, make sure it's at the center point. Make sure it's at the center point. This is definitely the center point. Yes, the midpoint rather. So you can click it there, drop it at the midpoint, drop it at the midpoint of this, and also drop this at the midpoint. Since this one is extruding out, so we can just a little bit shift it inside. We can move. This time around, you are not copying. You can just click on this, and this is the move icon. You click on it and drag it outside. So if it is slacking, you can just click on the auto mode to make it straight and drop it there. So the next thing we are going to do is to bring in our kitchen template. So we have a kitchen template here, and this is it. We're going to drag it inside, copy. We're going to copy it inside, take it this way, and make sure you turn off your auto mode. So escape. So we can add just the same way you. Okay, something hasn't been copied. I think this side hasn't been copied, so we have to delete this one, go back again and copy it properly. So we have to delete this one. Okay. Copy it properly. Remember what I taught you in the first video, that if you copy like this, everything that the copy box touches will be highlighted. Whereas if you take it this way, only things that are in between the box, that are inside the box, will be highlighted. So now I think everything has been copied. I'm going to move it out or copy it out again. So we drop it here. So as you can see, let's go to the side and check. Okay, this line is directly connected to this point, so we're going to use that as our reference point and place it exactly on that area. So make sure we highlight everything very well and move. This time around, we're not trying to make a duplicate of this, we're just trying to move it to this point, and boom, that is it. You see, we have it exactly touching this wall, and we have this one exactly touching this one. So that is it. The next one we are going to do is bringing in the wash hand basins. So the wash hand basins, we have one here, copy for the dining. Just drag down and place it this way. And for the toilets, we have one here. Okay, copy. So, drop it here. So you can either make use of mirror to duplicate, or maybe to have for this side. You can click on the eye, just the shortcut to mirror. You can then click on the icon here. So once you click on the icon, it will ask you to specify first point to mirror. So this time around, we are going to click the center point here and hold on the shift to make it straight temporarily. Now this time around, we are going to keep the source because the source is still very, very important to this drawing. So we are going to click on enter and boom, it's there. So the next one we're going to bring in is the wash hand basin for the visitor's toilet. So we're going to copy that one from here and copy, move it to this point. Yes, and that is it. So I think we are basically done with that. We are basically done with moving in all our except for this. Yes, for this cabinet, the store cabinet rather, so you can just choose to make this one offset 600 from this line, 600, and maybe draw a line, or you can leave it this way. Just all you have to do is just, since we are trying to replicate this, we have to just draw a line. Which one is this? Let's just draw supposed to be 600. So we're going to match the property. We are going to make sure the line is thin line. So we're going to click the thin line here, match the property with the bold lines. So we're going to match the property, and we don't need this extruding line. We have to trim it. Go back to trim. Left click on it. Come outside to the environment. Right click on the workspace and take that out. So we've gotten that. The next thing we are going to do is to bring in our beautiful flowers. This small flowers. I don't know if the design is okay, but I've just chosen to use this. So we're going to copy one by one to each corner. See, we have one flower here, we have one here, we have another one here, we have another one in the dining. So since we're trying to replicate that, we have to do it this here. That's fine. So we are done with bringing in all our template from the dining table, the couch in the living room, the kitchen cabinets, the toilet, and the wash hand basin. So the next thing we are going to do is to actually label all our drawing. The space for entrance, the space for visitors' toilet, the space for bedroom, we have to label, because ordinarily, if a layman comes to this now without any idea of AutoCAD or even architecture, they may not even able to distinguish which one is a bedroom from the living room. So we have to place the label in there. So the first thing we have to do is to check what type of font is this. We have to click on the font first and see the type of font that was actually used for this drawing. You can see from here that it is Century Schoolbook. That's the font type they use, and the font size is 224. 224. You have to note this down. The font size is 224 and it is Century Schoolbook. So what we have to do now is to click on our text tool, which is here. So we can click on multi-line text and just draw a box. Once you click on it, you specify the opposite corner and you drop it. So what we're going to do is you can choose to reduce the scale of the box of this text. So what we're going to do is to specify our font type, which is Century. You can click on CEN and it will bring you to Century School Book, and the font size is 224. It's already here. If you don't have it there, you can just click on it. Font size is 224, and you click on this side is living room, so we're going to write living room. Sorry, that's too big, so we're going to write living room, and boom, it's there. So we have to take this one out to make sure the living and room are in the same line. So we can drag it to this point on top just to be it is there. So you can now copy the first text to wherever you want to place another text. So you can highlight this, edit this one, click on entrance, type entrance, and move it. Make sure it's actually centralized. Then from there again, you can have the toilet, the visitor's toilet, which is represented with V/T, visitor's toilet, V/T. So, okay, do this to the center point. Copy that as well to get your bedroom. Okay, so bedroom. Sorry, bedroom. Okay, and you can copy this since you have 2 bedrooms. You can copy this to the other bedroom, and boom, you have to create that one. Then the toilet here. Copy this to the dining, and you double click on the text to edit, and you click on dining. Okay, you copy this as well to the kitchen to edit, double click on it, click on kitchen. Sorry, this kitchen. Last one, okay, not the last, we still have one more. So we have exit. It's either exit or a work area. We call it work area or exit. So kitchen, and drag this down to this area, and click and edit. This is supposed to be store. Yes, it's a store. Now we still have one more, which is the lobby. Click on it. Sorry. Click to edit. Okay. Is there anyone left out? I guess no. So that's basically what we have for the labeling. We have the toilets, the lobby, the bedrooms, the living room, the entrance, the visitor's toilet, the exit, the kitchen, and the store. If a layman comes here now, they can actually tell where the bedroom is, where the toilet is, where the dining, the exit, the kitchen is. They can have an idea of what their house is going to look like. But for you as an engineer, even though you have this drawing and you don't have the dimension, you may not be able to work with it. So that brings us to the next and final step of this tutorial, which is creating dimension. Like I said earlier in the first part of the video, I am going to send this template. I'm going to link it in the description below so you can have everything. We are not going to go down into creating the dimension style for you to get exactly the dimension I use here. I've already have the preset, and if you go to annotate now, you'll see the dimension I use, which is ArchiG. It's a template I created for myself. I use it for creating dimensions, and I'm going to use it. So if you want to create a dimension, to this building now, there are kind of, okay, normally they said in every art, sorry, I don't even have to bring that in. So there are 2 ways in which you can create dimension in a building. The whole principle there is the first dimension line that you're seeing here is going to take from one point to where a window or a door starts from to the next point. I don't know if you get it. From one point if you take from this point, it goes to where another point starts, then to window, window to window, window to window. That is what it's supposed to be actually. Window to window, window to window. We want to know what is the dimension from one point to the beginning of the window, the measurement of the window, and from the other point to the beginning of another window. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So in this part of the tutorial, we are going to begin with drawing the window. So once you go in, ordinarily your own should be at the home surface like this. So if you want to give it any dimension, you can either click on this or use the linear dimension here. But myself, I like using this very part, annotate. So you click on annotate here, go to linear dimension, linear, and you click on the first point to where a window begins, a window or a door, then you drop it, right? Then the next point is to continue. If you want to do the same thing, you can go back to clicking on this and getting this, but it's not done that way. That's a very long process. What you have to do is just to click on dimension, continue, dim continue. That's the shortcut. So you click on continue, and it will just start from where it stops. You have 1.2 the measurement of that window. From that point where the window stops to the other point where another window starts. So you get 2175, and the measurement of the dining window, which is 1.80, and lastly where it ends. That is it. And the next dimension is wall to wall, where you have one wall and where you have another wall. So mind you are going to be measuring everything that you can probably see from this side. You can't be at this side and be measuring what is here. It's not possible. It is not architectural. That's not the standard of doing things in architecture. So what you have to do is click the linear again, go to wall. We have 225 here, then you drop it. So if you don't like your dimension to be with a leader, you can either click this and bring it to the center, or you leave it that way. So you see the dimension is in between the two lines, although they might be extended, but you can leave it this way. Now you have to click dimension continue and get this one from this point to this point and this point. It will give you 225, but now you've been able to get the dimension between this and this, which is 775. If you add 775 to this 225, it will give you 1000, which is the dimension that we use for this in the first place. So we are going to take this and this. From this, we can be able to tell that, okay, the dimension of our bedroom is 3900, and we have 225 again. So you take this and this. From this, we can be able to tell that the dimension of our dining is 3000. You take this and this. From this, we can be able to tell that the dimension of our kitchen is 225, and lastly the wall. So that is it. So the next one we're going to do for the downside. If you can see in the drawing, they didn't actually specify anything up front, but they just gave us the entire dimension. So ordinarily, if you want to dimension a building, it's not supposed to be this way, but we just have to leave it like this since we're trying to replicate it. So you click on the first point here down to the end on the other side. So you can see if the dimension is not the same with the one we're trying to replicate, then there is a problem. So you see we have 11.3 meters here, which is 11,300 millimeters. We also have 11,300 millimeters, which means everything we've been doing right from the first part down to the second part is actually correct. So the second part we're going to do now is this side. So we're going to take from this point, actually, yes, to where the window begins, and we're going to take it outside. Make sure you use the linear dimension, not just dimension. So you can use dimension continue and drop it here to where another window starts, and this, and this, and this. Click on this. This point, and this point, okay, this point, and this point, and lastly, the last point here. So now that we've gotten from one window to the other, the next one we're going to do is getting the dimension for each wall. So we're going to get for this, I think, this. Dimension of this pillar is supposed to be 2 to 5. Yes, it's 2 to 5. So we get it. We can move this in between this. Okay. Now we click on dimension, continue. We have this 2 to 5 as well. Go down to this pillar 2 to 5. So any dimension that is looking clumsy, you can see that AutoCAD will automatically create a leader and take it outside. Of course, this is all happening because we have actually done the dimension style to fit in this way. So probably in a subsequent tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to create your dimension style and where you have to create a leader if need be. Then from this wall to the next wall, this and this, this and this, this and this, and lastly this one. Now we don't know what the total dimension. For us to know the total dimension here now, we may have to sum everything up here to get the total dimension, and that is a very long process. What we have to do is just to click the linear dimension and come here, do this side first, and before we have the total dimension. So we are going to take it from this point, as you can see from the drawing. So we're going to take it from this point here to where the window starts. Okay, starts here. Okay. All right, then you can continue with the dimension. One, another one here, another one here, then the store window, okay, the kitchen window, and lastly the end of that side. So the next thing we are going to do now is to get the total dimension of this side. Now, okay, all right. So if the dimension is not the same with the other one, we know there is a problem. So okay, we have to check this one. This one is 13,900 millimeters, and also this one is 13,900 millimeters. And we have been able to successfully create the dimension, bring in the templates of doors and windows, bring in the template of kitchen, dining table, the bed, and even the couches. So the next thing we are going to do now is to create the hatch for this. We have to create this hatch and also have our dimension, because there are some instances where you don't even know what the dimension of this is. So we have to create some interior dimensions. Okay, 1, 2, sorry, 2, 3, 2, 5, 3, 3, 0. So, okay, we have to go with the height of this. I think it's 3,600. It's 36. Okay, then this one. That from outside, there's no need for us to even create a dimension there. So okay, you can also just drop the dimension of the kitchen inside. 6. What's the dimension of the exit area? You already know it's 1.2. We can just drop this here. And the lobby, what's the dimension? Is 1,200. Then what's the dimension of the toilet? Okay. So since we know they're of the same size, there's no need for us to replicate the dimension. We can just leave this one here for clarity and unambiguity. So the next thing we are going to do is to create for the living room. What is the dimension from this side to this side? And what is the dimension from this side to this side? Okay, and that's all. I think that's basically what we have to do in this drawing. Okay, I think there is something. Let me see. We have to shift this. Although it's okay like this, it's okay this way. We don't have to shift everything down to this side. So we have to create a space where somebody can walk around. If probably you have more visitors, you can leave a space for them to sit here. It's a very wide living room anyway. So The next thing we are going to do is to create this hatch area. We already have our label there, which is exit. We need to create the hatch area there, this cross hatch. Okay, so you have to go back to the ribbon, go to home, and we go to hatch. The hatch is here, and the shortcut to hatch is H. Click on H, or you click on the icon there. You can see you have to select the type of hatching they use in this area. If you click on the hatching ordinarily, it will show you everything about the hatching. They use ANSI 37, yes, and the angle, the scale they use is 50, the angle is 0, the hatch transparency is 0, and the hatch color is by block. So we're going to replicate the same thing. ANSI 137. ANSI 37 rather. Yes, it's ANSI 37. We're going to click on hatch. We're going to look for ANSI 37. You come down to this drop down button here, and you look for ANSI 37. Yes, ANSI 37 is here. You click on it. What is the hatch? If your own is not already 50, you can change it to 50. You understand? And okay, it's already in my block. So all we have to do is just to take our pick point. Take your pick point and drop it here. You understand? And drop another one here. So one very important thing I need to tell you about hatching is, in the event where you have any of these corners not closed, it's going to take you a long time, and it's not even going to be possible for AutoCAD to hatch the area for you, because you have to have everything enclosed. Down from this point, everything here has to be connected in order for you to be able to hatch properly. So you have to make sure everywhere is enclosed. This one is, although these ones are dotted line, but AutoCAD still recognizes it as a line, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you do all these dotted lines manually, you may have to close it down. If not, AutoCAD will not be able to help you hatch the whole of this area. And basically that's everything. We've been able to replicate what we have here from the first part of the video down to the second part, and exactly what is here is what is here. Of course, you might tell me, okay, the placement of the dining and all those things are not exactly the same. Of course, I've just decided to do that differently. We can't just exactly have what is on ground with this one. So that is it about this video. And if you're watching this channel for the first time, if you're in this channel for the first time, make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit the thumbs up, use that one to help me as well, and share. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section. And of course, I'm going to drop all the links to this tutorial where you can download this and start to do this for yourself. That is it. If you haven't liked this video already, make sure you give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel so you can get videos like this whenever I drop them in subsequent times. Thank you, and see you in the next tutorial.